Hey Danny, sorry about this. It's 11 p.m. I gotta do the EXOSISTER intro, so we gotta overlay, and it's gotta be gay.
Oh man, I hate this part.
Good afternoon, Genesis gamers. I'm MBT, and this is 100 Point Playtesting. Well, BitBro's out, and with it, a new slew of goo to destroy Genesis. We'll be beginning our foray into the fucked up decks contained within with some lesbians. Presenting EXOSISTER. So here's the list. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Looking for a place to find inspiration for Genesis decks? Well, look no further. I've already spent years telling you about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is the best repository of deck lists, strategy articles, third-party assistance with alternate ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, and card collection management on the internet. But right now, it's also the best way to find Genesis lists. You can sort by deck type, filter high-level tournaments to see what's been working, and download decks you see in any format you desire. That's why I'm proud to be sponsored by www.ygoprodeck.com. Now back to the video. With that, let's examine EXOSISTER. EXOSISTER's always been a decent Genesis deck with a smattering of top finishes, but its legacy is mostly as one of the best strategies during Genesis's honeymoon period where Dimension Shifter was inexpensive. This deck's good, of course, but thrives on one-ish card combos, has a notoriously low ceiling, and just can't hack it in the wider format. Until now. BitBro released a few cards that not only make Martha the one card she was always meant to be, they also just straight up wall combo opponents into the sun. Pair that with the recently released Ichiki Sayori Hime and Brother, you've got a stew going. It might be a little bland, but it'll fill you up. So with that, let's get into the card by card. First up are EXOSISTERs. We're playing 3 Martha, 3 Ellis, 2 Sophia, 1 apiece of Stella and Irene. We're playing 2 copies of DD Crow, which does double duty both as a hand trap and a way to trigger some, but not all of your EXOSISTERs, 2 Aratama and a Sakitama for pairing with the other powerful spirit. We're on 3 of the unpointed 7th Tachyon, 3 EXOSISTER Betrayal, which when activated adds 2 EXOSISTERs from your deck to your hand, that allows you to discard a card, you target a face-up monster you control, and after this effect resolves, normal summons an EXOSISTER monster mentioned on that monster, and if a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard even during the damage step, you can activate this effect. Your opponent banishes one of them. That's going to trigger your EXOSISTERs, but be careful because some of the EXOSISTERs say except during the damage step. So combat isn't going to be your friend here. 3 copies of Returnia and 1 copy of Vadis alongside the pointed EXOSISTER packs. Remember, Trinities go at the end of the deck list. We are playing 3 copies of Mulcharmy Fulos, 3 copies of Nabir the Primal Being, 3 copies of Ichiki Sayori Hime, 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and 2 Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill in the extra. We've got 2 EXOSISTERs Magnifica, 2 copies of EXOSISTER Carmel, which can only be made with EXOSISTERs, new text PogChamp. If this card is Exi-summoned, you can, during the end phase of this turn, set an EXOSISTER spell trap from your deck, graveyard, or banishment, and when your opponent activates a monster effect or a normal spell trap effect, you can detach all the materials from this card, change the effect to add 1 card from your opponent's graveyard to their hand. We are on 3 copies of Caspitel, 1 Gabrine, 1 Exciton Knight, 1 Masquerade, the Mirror Logic Aggregator Maelong Garura package that telegraphs the Ultimate Slayer in the side deck, and 2 copies of the pointed EXOSISTER Michaelis in the side. We're playing Floodgates, 3 Soundproofed, 3 Mask of Restrict, and then Shared Ride, Cosmic Cyclone, and Ultimate Slayer. So with that, let's check out a game. Our match is up against Monarch, and our hand looks pretty good. We are going first. We've got not only our combo, we've also got a Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill to insulate our plays on our opponent's turn. We're going to begin with a copy of Martha, summoning an Ellis from deck, then overlaying for the new Caspitel, 2 EXOSISTERs, by the way. We'll normal summon a copy of Aratama. We will go ahead and grab the Ichiki Sayori Hime, and then let's go ahead and activate that effect in order to get her onto the board as well. We'll activate her effect for a Martha for follow-up, and then afterwards we can overlay for a Michaelis, which is, of course, generic. We'll use the effect of the Michaelis to get an EXOSISTER Betrayal, then we'll go ahead and activate the Betrayal to get a bunch of EXOSISTERs to our grip. This is enough material to overlay for a Magnifica, so we'll do that. Set the Vadis and resolve the effect of the Carmel for a Returnia. It doesn't look it, but this is like 14 points of interaction. Our opponent's going to begin with a copy of the Monarch's Revolt, pitching an Eidos. We give them a copy of Tessera. Afterwards, they are going to activate the Tessera in Yard for a Dia. This is probably worth the Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. We don't have a lot of utility for this card. They will go for the Monarch's Revolt for Eidos. Afterwards, we'll banish it. They'll go Tenacity. The Monarchs reveal Aether. And then after that, we can just rank up into a Carmel Caramel to get it loaded for the future. They'll add Master Plan, which telegraphs a pantheism. We'll go Caramel here. They'll activate the effect of the Tessera, revealing the Master Plan and summoning it. This is another special if we let it on field, so we won't, using Returnia. We'll trigger Caramel and Vadis here, getting Sophia and Irene to the field as we trigger both of their effects for a Michaelis and an Asophiel. That Asophiel is going to come in very handy. They'll go for a Dia. We will stop it, and they will concede. So for game 2, we're going second against Monarch, which is a death sentence, but we have one trick up our sleeve. Here, the Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. You can see the extra deck our opponent is sporting telegraphs that they're on the Zaborg build of the deck. And if we Ghost Ogre Zaborg while it targets itself, then we might just get away with it. Now, keep in mind that this is hardly guaranteed. I mean, first off, they are hand looping with the Erebus, which means that they might have just hit the Ghost Ogre. But they're going to go Eidos, grab the Zaborg. There is a way to play around this in a high roll hand that includes Aether by just targeting the Aether instead of the Zaborg. So we need them not only not to have that, which we can see in their hand they already do, but also to play incorrectly into it. But, that's what play into your outs is all about. They're going through the motions here. They're going to trigger the effect of the Eidos in Graveyard to bring back the Tessera. They'll use the Tessera to perform a tribute summon. Here's the Zaborg, and they targeted itself. Oh my god, thinking the Aether would be valuable as follow-up. Oh no, that's disastrous. They can loop back the Zaborg, but they're out of normal summons, which means they have to set a card and pass turn here. Okay, well, in draw phase, we're just going to banish that. It's Monarch Stormforth. This Martha might just do it on her own. We'll go Martha for Ellis, then afterwards we'll overlay for a Michaelis. This Michaelis will unfortunately fall victim to the Zaborg, the Thunder Monarch, and while we can banish the Prime Monarch, they can theoretically just tribute summon over it. They will pop their own Aether and grab a Pantheism off this Eidos, which means that they can activate the effect of the Erebus and Yard to grab back the Aether and potentially special summon it on our turn anyway. We're forced to just set a Mask of Restrict and hope, but in terms of things that accidentally win the game, setting Mask of Restrict versus Monarch is up there. That's lethal we're facing down, but in draw phase, we can just flip up Mask of Restrict and hope for the best. It looks like they don't have it this turn. Down comes the Eidos, and they will get in for a fair amount of damage, but not lethal, notably. All we need is one extra card in hand, and we can try the one card once again, courtesy of 7th Tachyon. Cosmic Cyclone is as good as anything else. Let's reveal Masquerade. We will grab Martha, tuck back this copy of Cosmic Cyclone, and from this position activate Martha's effect to summon a copy of Ellis from deck. From here we'll overlay for a Michaelis, and we will trigger the effect to grab a Betrayal. Betrayal here is going to fetch us everything we need. We will pitch one of them and special out the Sophia. We'll activate the Sophia effect. We grab a Nibiru, we'll go Michaelis, banish the Aether, walk over the last remaining high attack monster, banish it, and this is where I realize, right, Sophia says on her, except during the damage step. All right, this is a little bit of damage we didn't have to take, but we are still in the driver's seat for this game. They have no out to this copy of Mask of Restrict. We're going to grab another Betrayal. We will activate the effect of Betrayal. I don't think we need the Nibiru anymore, and we can just win the game from here. Down comes Sophia. We'll trigger the effect of the Betrayal. We'll get Irene. Trigger Sophia, gain 800, go into Gabreen, use Gabreen's effect, special out Martha and Ellis. And I think this is just straight up lethal. Caramel into Magnifica, go to the battle phase, banish this copy of Eidos, attack twice, and then once with the Caramel. Yep, we did it, courtesy of Mask. So we're back with the deck, and yeah, winning off a Floodgate never feels great, but it is winning. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, this deck was built for Genesis. Low investment setups, tons of extenders, specifically uses unpointed searchers like Tachyon. The most popular hand trap in Genesis is DD Crow. It's perfect. 2, the uninterrupted end board does win you the game. It's like 12 points of interaction that are so layered they're almost impossible to weave through. And 3, as a low point strategy, you get to make use of a bevy of powerful hand traps, unaffordable to the average loser. And the cons. 1, Kaijus. There are ways to insulate your board against them by refusing to early Magnifica, but it's a bad place to be when the top strategy is main decking them and everyone else is on them in the board. 2, the deck's not super flexible. It does what it does. What it does is good, but if what it does doesn't stack up against what your opponent do, you're done. And 3, it's very samey, making Michaelis gets old fast. All in all, this deck seems like a powerful new addition to the extremely powerful post-Bipro format. Enjoy, lesbians.